Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Mine Pokemon Trading Card Game Podcast. I'm here with my amazing co-host Landon. How are you? I don't know why I stuttered.
Doing wonderful, Lucas. I had a very good Christmas time. Went to a league challenge yesterday, so I've seen a bunch of family since last episode, which is always good. Done pretty decent at a league challenge, and ate a lot of food. Yeah,
I also ate a ton of way too much food.
yeah. But I ate more than the 2 pounds of grapes. Apparently, that was a fan favorite tidbit last week. So I've eaten well over 2 pounds of food over the holidays here so far. Um,
That's
so
a
those
lot of
grapes
food.
were enough.
That's a lot of food.
How about yourself, Lucas? Did you have a good Christmas?
I
I've seen.
did. I did have a good Christmas time. My
Very
sister and her
nice.
girlfriend came over. We played card and board games all day. That was good. That was for Christmas time. And yeah, we shout out to my mom. She supplied me and Landon with Lost Mine Pokemon Trading Card Game mats. It's
You
pretty
did.
cool.
So, yeah, at events moving forward, you'll see me and Lucas rocking the Lost Mine playmats. I'm curious if there's like an interest for other people if like they'd want them. I mean, that would just be like free advertising for us, I guess, if you want to pay for a playmat. But maybe that's something later down the line. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I was quite surprised when Angie gave it to me as a gift. I was quite appreciative because it's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
very thoughtful.
Um,
Um,
yeah,
I want to quickly on the thing of advertising. We're thinking of making V-Star markers.
but not
Um,
giving them out because I think giving out V-Star markers is just like it's just like unsolicitedly, hey, follow our podcast.
that
But
is
I think
pretty
if we have
weird. Yeah.
I think it's just a little pushy. Like I don't really feel like that's a great idea. But I think me and Lucas for Portland are gonna have V-Star markers with QR codes on them for ourselves while we're playing. So if you want an easy way to follow us, I mean, if you're listening to this, you're already following us. So, but yeah, in Portland we'll have hopefully V-Star markers with QR codes. So we're moving up. We're
We're
moving up in
moving
the
up in the
world.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. So let's talk about the challenge real quick. So I won the challenge in
Mm-hmm.
seniors division. I went a clean 4-1, but
Only loss was me.
I scooped to him in round five. I heard that I was paired to him, and I automatically said, "Landon, I scooped to you."
Yeah, he did yell across the room. That's pretty funny. But yeah, so Lucas, I don't know if we need to do like tournament reports, but yeah, you won in seniors. We both played the same 60 as San Antonio. Myself, mostly just because I didn't have any other decks built, and I literally like left Salt Spring Island from visiting family, basically came straight to the challenge and just pulled the deck out of my bag.
Yep.
But yeah, I should have, in respect, tried the third Iono. I did want to try that, but and then I got second. I went 4-1. I lost to a Roaring Moon. I probably would have had the game, but I prized my Metacham and I couldn't Yoga Loop the Squawk. So I could have gone
Ooh,
like Yoga Loop into Melanie Rapid Flow for game, but
screw
I
that.
couldn't do it. Yeah, no, that's fine. Part of the fun.
Sick. Okay.
But yeah, got second place.
So
So
we want to
deck is
talk
still good.
about. We
Yeah,
want to talk
today.
about. This is the deck that we played.
Um, yeah, so we have. Is it just the list up? Yeah, same list as last week. Our top three decks, I guess we kind of had this as a recurring series, just kind of what we're thinking is good. So right now, what I'm testing for Portland is mostly this, and then like I was also trying out. I think we can just probably move to the next screen because everyone knows this list
Everyone
already.
knows this list. The cards that we're hiding is a Earthen Vessel and two Earthen Vessel and two Nest Ball. Two Nest
Yeah,
Ball, very good, very good. Play two Nest Ball. Play something
yeah.
extreme emirates, whatever. We're going on. Cool.
Next deck, Pidgeot control. Like this is a list. Is this Hale's list
This is Hale
from?
60.
Yeah, I think like this is also something I haven't really tested it, but I'm just kind of considering it for Portland. I definitely want to like try it now that the Christmas is over and I've got a bit more time. But in theory, this deck has really good matchups and is a little bit like more versatile than the traditional Snorlax. Like you're playing energies, you have the ability to knock things out with Blustery Wind and Lost Zone them with Lost City. You got the Luxray, so you can do like Iono, Fang Snipe plays, and then the Mawile as well. Like this, I mean, we talked about this list last week, but I think people just aren't really respecting control that much going into Portland right now. But
Very
that
good
might
deck.
change.
Respect control for this
Yeah,
event. Know how to play against it. But
yeah. So
this is also my number two deck. We are sharing our top threes pretty much. I actually don't think my top two. I only had two decks for this week. I only had Urshifu in this. But yeah, so our faces are hiding the Assault Vest and a Forest Seal Stone and is it an Assault Vest? It's a Defiance
it's
Vest.
Defiant Vest.
I
Assault Vest is the special energy one. That's the older card.
yeah
I think that's from Breakthrough or something.
yeah Breakthrough yeah cool set. We are my face is hiding Defiance Vest, Force Seal Stone, and 1 copy of Stormy Mountains. But yeah, this list is pretty cool. I was gonna play it to League last night, but I only own 1 Pogo Snorlax, so
thanks to vendor Landen, now you have 4.
I do now have 4 Snorlaxes and 2 Pidgeot EXs. That
little tidbit: if you are at any locals, myself, Landen Caitlor, am now a non-licensed Pokemon card seller.
Wow.
I have a suitcase of a bunch of playables and like collectible stuff. So hit me up if you need some cards, because taking steps towards my card store here. A little free plug on myself.
That's great.
But yeah, continue, Lucas.
Whoa, that's crazy. So yeah, it's kind of cool. He's been doing that, getting his cards, doing his, I don't know. I enter cool word here. So this list is quite strong. I've been playing it, and it kind of just like has decent matchups into everything, and favored matchups into a lot of stuff. Your Gardevoir matchup's kind of weird. Like if they play Palpad, it's pretty weird, but that's kind of it. Like your Zard matchup's fairly strong, very strong, because you should eventually get something out, and they only play 1 out to they don't play switch a lot of the time, so you just tempting trap something so that they can't boss and then retreat, and then you just lock it in the active the entire game. This is like a mini deep dive, but yeah.
We should move on. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Fine,
and I'm sure next week we're going to be talking about stuff. But yeah, Snorlax is good deck we're considering.
Yes, very strong deck.
Quickly,
haven't used Luxray a lot though, so okay.
Yeah. Next, this is like the same Mew list I've had up for a while. Nothing's really changed. My stance on Mew hasn't changed. I think it's very good and would kind of be my default play if everything else falls through. But we should move on to the rest of the episode because we're already like 7 minutes in. We haven't started.
I was drinking water. My face is hiding 1 Featherball, 1 Palpad. That's good.
But yeah, on today's episode, aside from just kind of our usual update on what decks we're thinking about, we're going to be looking at some new cards that came out as like leaks for the set that's going to be for EUIC. I don't really know the names, like Paradox something, I'm sure. And then we're also going to do our sequencing segment, and then we're going to be talking about just some of the deck lists from the recent Kyoto Champions League in Japan, because it's always fun to look at what they've got going on over there. And yeah.
It's going to be a good episode.
Lucas, maybe can you move our faces to the right just for specifically right now, because our card, I think it is. There we go.
Okay.
Cool. So first card here is the Screamtail. This is probably one of the less exciting ones. I just thought it was kind of interesting because this, I think, could come up at some point in its legality. Just 1 colorless, heal 100 from one of your ancient Pokemon, and then I guess 2 colorless for 40 damage. But
it's just worse than Mantike.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's a Mantike. It's just that. I think Mantike is even free retreat. It's just 30 HP.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think this card is broken or anything, but I thought it was worth talking about. But we can probably move to the next one.
Very worth talking about. Good card. I mean, like, decent card, but I think Mantike.
There are more exciting ones today.
Yeah, this card's kind of cool. Iron Valiant. So it is a future Pokemon that for 1 energy does 20 and does 20 to one of your opponent's bench. You'll see why I'm like thinking this card's okay in a bit. 20 damage is very low. Psychic colorless. It does Psyblade for 120 damage, and this Pokemon can't use Psyblade during your next turn. So very strong, like minimally strong attacker.
It looks really bad, but there's more cards that are coming out. There's a lot of like future and ancient support, and it's starting to kind of form their own decks. I think the only thing that future is really missing is energy acceleration, but we could probably move to the next card. These ones we can all kind of breeze through, I think.
Well, Team Plasma reprint. Let's go. Okay. Sandy Shocks. So this card's in my opinion, I don't think this card's going to see much play, but it's 20 damage.
This is one of the better ones myself.
Oh. Wait, yeah, true. It is kind of like
as soon as you USADA, you go second USADA, and then it does 1 for 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Sandy Shocks, 120 hit point fighting Pokemon, 1 fighting energy, 20 damage plus 70 more if you have 3 more energies in play, and it doesn't affect by weakness, and the second attack is 2 for 60 to retreat. But yeah, like it's going second, it's a pretty strong, efficient 1-prizer, 1 for 90 as soon as you USADA the 3 energy into play, I think is quite strong. Probably a 1 of if you're playing fighting energy and SADA in your deck, I think.
Well, you could also just play Roaring Moon and play like 2 fighting energy now instead of the Grand, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I just think it's quite as splashable. Like we've seen 1 for 90 be very powerful before. Like I remember Hoopa was very good. Like that card saw a lot of play.
And that card had like some had the effect where you had to switch into it, and it was still very heavily played.
I mean, this is this is a little bit of a different drawback. Like, you have to play supporter for it to work. Hoopa was a little bit, I think, easier to get attacking, but it's harder to chain. Like, this can just attack every turn in a row if they can't knock it out or they boss around it or something. So, yeah, I think this is probably one of the better one prizes we see today. But
yeah, actually, yeah, after thinking about it, this card is quite good. That's pretty strong. Yeah. That's pretty strong. So, the next card we see is, sorry, this is quality is okay. Oh, by the way, shout out to Antoine Boulet for all of the translations, all of the text. The guy's a
absolute gamer. I think you missed one too, but that's okay.
Did I? Oh, I did. Great Tusk. Yeah. My bad. So, Great Tusk. 2 fighting, 30 damage. Wow, crazy. 1 fighting, 1 colorless, 30. Wow.
2 colorless.
1 fighting, 2 colorless. Raging Charge. 80 plus if any of your bench Pokemon have damage counters on them, this attack is 80 more damage. So, not amazing. It's okay. Like,
I think what we need to consider with these, like, these attack costs look high though, but you have Sada for every one of these ancient Pokemon. I mean, 160 for 3 is kind of mid. I don't think this is something you're playing, but yeah. I think the energy cost is a little deceiving on these things because Sada is really strong acceleration.
That has deceived me, I will say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it could be okay, but I think this is just a worse Roaring Moon.
Yeah, these are all kind of like decently efficient one prize attackers for the most part so far.
And that's good to have in the format.
Yeah, I like having a nice diversity of one prizers. But you have that Iron Jugulus too, eh?
Yeah, so Iron Jugulus is 3 energy, 110, and its ability is if the Pokemon is in the active spot and it takes damage from an opponent's attack, you put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. But that doesn't really work that well because you have 130 HP. So
yeah, I think this card's pretty weak. Like the future ones, the energy cost is real. Because there isn't Sada for the future ones. We have Turo as the signature supporter. I guess there's a couple new future supporters coming out that we're going to talk about, but
none of them do energy.
I don't think this is probably one of the weaker ones. Probably the weakest one we've looked at so far.
Yeah,
but
this card's not very, very strong.
Yeah.
So I actually think this card's pretty okay. Iron Hands is a future Pokemon, 3 retreat cost. Lightning colorless, 30 damage, and flip a coin if your opponent's attacking Pokemon is not paralyzed. 2 lightning. 1 colorless, you do 80 damage, and if your opponent's active Pokemon is Pokemon V or EX, you do 80 more damage. So you're doing 160. And Maron has the E-generators to power
This is probably the strongest one, actually. I haven't seen this card yet.
I disagree. I think that with rotation, because I think EUIC is most likely going to be rotation, right?
Yeah.
So with rotation, we get rid of Flaffy. Do we get rid of Flaffy?
We do.
Yeah, we do.
But, like, I don't know, this is just actually really efficient one prizer, like 160 for 3. Plus, we've already seen people with the Pikachu V. Like, the first attack is not bad, and 140 hit points is very tanky for a one prizer. I think this card is actually probably worth playing as a one of in right. I mean, I don't know. This card actually looks very strong.
It's very strong, but didn't you say that 160 on Great Tusk is worse? I mean, that's kind of insufficient evidence.
But this actually powers it up. Like, this can be powered up with an item. Sada's a support, and there's no condition on this. Like, sure, like the having damage on your bench Pokemon is like you have to play like Gapejaw Bog or something.
And you don't want to play Gapejaw Bog.
This, you just go attach, hit double energy off generator, and then you're hitting 160 on a one prizer. This card actually, I think,
pretty strong.
Looking at this card, I think is very strong. Like this, I think this will be actually quite freaking. This is also like good in Lost Box as well.
True, that is your lightning attacker now. This could be a lightning attacker now.
Both Iron Hands cards are very strong. Like this is two-shotting most things.
Oh, and also in Future Box, really good, if you're playing Future Box, you can just play like there's a card later on that will boost damage. So it's pretty good, but I don't think that's really where you're gonna see it.
I think the only way real ways you're gonna power this up are generator and Mirage Gate right now, but there's always opportunities for new things. But this is just a very well statted card.
160 is pretty good. Yeah, very very well statted.
160 is very good.
And having
we're already playing Zero Aura, which does 3 for 80, 1 for 60, like as your one prizer a lot of the time. Sure, it has free retreat, but like that card does things with damage. Like imagine you're doing 160 with this, plus you also the first attack is not irrelevant because remember how many times you've thunder shocked with Pikachu V.
Yeah, true. Pikachu V is literally in there to turn your Gardevoir into a 50-50 coin flip matchup.
Yeah, but probably move to the next card. This card is just very strong card. Actually, I haven't seen this one. Very good.
You just take a hit. Like you're the thing I like about this card is that they have to respond to the 2 prizer most of the time. So then you're just gonna respond with a two
No,
prizer
I don't know
back.
about most of the time, but 140 is a lot of hit points for one
Most
prizer.
of the time now with the cards in the
Yeah,
format.
it survives Cramorant. This also is, it would be very good in like Lost Box Mirrors because you're gonna want 80 damage. It hits Cramorant for weakness, you do 160. Hits Greninja for weakness, you do 160.
Hits Sableye
Kills
for
Sableye,
weakness.
kills
No,
Comfey.
it doesn't hit Sableye for weakness. It kills Sableye.
And then like into like the V's and stuff, like you're chunking for 160 and then can clean up with Sableye or Moonless Shuriken later. I think we're going to see a lot of this card, actually. The more I talk about it and look at it, this card is really good. But we can move to the next one. We're talking a lot about Iron Hands.
Iron Hands goated. So, Koraidon EX. This card's pretty good. This card is quite strong.
This card is also
This is where you would play Sandy Shocks. This is the
do you really need Sandy Shocks, though? Maybe, like, the E-Switch thing. Like, Sandy Shocks is just not the same as Moltres at all. Like, you're not able... Like, the whole point of this would be to be aggressive. And you cannot be aggressive with Sandy Shocks.
No, baby Sandy Shocks.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking EX. Yeah, totally. This would be an opportunity to play the baby one for sure as like a one-of. But this card is like...
Very strong.
Kind of reminds me of Reshizard a little bit.
Yeah, so for 1 fire, 2 fighting, the main attack is that it does 280 and it does 60 damage to itself. But then...
also Route Rage, which is really good.
Your 2 colors attack is 20 plus 10 for each damage counter on this Pokemon. That's a very strong secondary effect to have on a Pokemon.
Yeah, I think that people kind of underestimate the power of Outrage, especially if this has a booster capsule at 290. Outrage has, like, been played as, like, the only relevant attack on cards before. Like, I remember playing, like, old and Black and White, and you would play, like, Reshiram and Zekrom as type coverage literally just for Outrage, because the attack is so well statted. Like, and then also having just a 3 for 280. Sure, you do 62 itself, which, like, I guess in theory makes your Outrage a bit better, but...
It makes your Outrage better, but also with the capsule, it just puts you back down to 230. 230 is a hard number to hit, man.
Yeah, like, how we can't really power this up in... Well, you could power this up in one turn.
Yeah. No, you
if
can't.
you just played 4 E-Switch, 4 Sada...
No, you're literally just
you're
literally a Roaring Moon deck minus the Dark Patches and add different energies and a sand.
I wouldn't say this is, like... I wouldn't quite compare this to Roaring Moon, because Roaring Moon has the ability to tank and one-shot anything. I think it's a little bit different of a deck, but yeah, I think this Koraidon is actually, like, I don't know if it's quite strong, but it's good.
I think it's quite strong. I mean,
it has no weakness, which is a big upside on Roaring Moon as well. But 60 damage to yourself is a lot. You will definitely run into the problem of, like, you hit for 280. Oh, wait, no, the Outrage just solves that. I was thinking, like, you hit for your knockout, they don't even have to one-shot you, and then it kind of makes your thing useless. But actually, the more I think about it, this card is also very good.
This card's very good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's move to the next one. We got 2 bangers in a row there.
This card sucks.
This card looks kind of unassuming.
This card sucks, in my opinion. I don't think this card's good.
Why does it take Psychic Energies? That's weird to see the Dragon Miraidon. Yeah, for anyone listening, Miraidon EX, it's a Dragon future type. Lightning Psychic, 60 plus 100 more if the opponent's active already has any damage on it. So I like the obvious synergy there is like ping with Valiant, hit for 160 for 2, but you're not playing Lightning Energies in Valiant. And then
I don't even know
Lightning Psychic Colorless, you do 220 and can't use the attack next turn. No weakness, no resistance, 1 retreat. Yeah, this card's not good.
The only way I could see this being played is, funnily enough, in a deck that plays Lightning Energy. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how you would power it up.
Double Dragon Energy in reprint incoming. That would be so sick.
That'd be sick. That would make this card good.
Tina would be broken, though.
Tina would be broken. But you would just...
Never mind. I regret saying that.
No. Well,
no Double Dragon Energy.
You would probably reprint Double Dragon Energy after Tina's gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this card sucks, though. We can move on.
This card does kind of suck, but with... I mean, the only way I could see... If you can power this up in one turn, this card's pretty good. 116 on turn 1 is pretty good.
Wait, you would just attack with Valiant. Anyways.
Wait, would you
Ace-Specs are
how?
back.
Wait, how?
Well, if you're powering this up for 3...
You're powering this up for 2.
Why wouldn't you just power up Valiant? Oh, 160. No, we can move on. This card is not great.
Yeah.
Master Ball.
Ace-Specs
are back.
Wait.
Ooh.
Oh,
Jinx.
wait. I did not add the other Ace-Specs. That's bad.
Ooh. That's okay. We can talk about it. That's fine.
That's fine.
Master Ball, for anyone that hasn't played, was a printed card in black and white. It's just an Ace-Spec that says search your deck for a Pokemon, put in your hand. It's Pokeball without a coin flip. So yeah, quite strong.
Quite strong card, but there are way better Ace-Specs.
It's like if this was just an item, it'd be very good, but it is never really better than any other Ace-Spec. Very niche decks. Was this ever the Ace-Spec you played in the past? And I think it will probably be the same moving forward.
Wait, where's my mouse? Sorry,
what are you doing?
I lost my mouse. I don't know where my mouse went. Like the thing that shows you where you're the pointer. I don't know where my... Oh, I found my pointer. Okay, I found it.
Okay,
It's back.
We're good. Yeah, so like Master Ball in theory is like looks very strong, but it is basically always worse than the other ace specs, which we can pretend to move to the next ace spec.
Okay.
But we just forgot to put in the presentation.
Do you want me to point it
No,
out?
it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. We can just say what it does.
So Prime Catcher is an ace spec that is a item card that is switch your opponent's active Pokemon with one of their bench, with boss, and then switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench. So it's Guzma
anyone that was playing Sun and Moon, is item Guzma. That is so good. Wow.
That card's insane.
I think it's debatably better than. I mean, I haven't played with the card. I haven't tried it, but just from theory, like it's on par with Comp Search, on par with Dowsing Machine. Like they're gonna have to try really hard to print better ace specs than item Guzma, especially because there's so many Arven decks. There's Irida decks.
It's insane. Arven stocks are going way up.
You guys thought Counter Catcher was good? Just imagine if your Counter Catcher can be played anytime, it can be used aggressively, and it also is a switch card for you. A Counter Catcher feels broken when you use it effectively, but this is just so good. It's broken.
Prime Catcher's broken.
Basically, I mean, there's amount of like discourse or backlash the right word on this card, because the problem with ace specs is you can only play one of them. It's same as like Radiant Greninja and Radiant Zard. All the other Radiants can't be played because the other 1 or 2 Radiants are the best. And then same thing with ace specs. If they print Prime Catcher, then they print these cool ones like Master Ball. Like in the past, there's lots of cool ace specs, but they're just not playable because they're so much worse than the other options. And by the rules of the mechanic of the card, you're just basically unable to play the cool ones and are forced to play Prime Catcher or the better ones they print. So that's the Discord or
the thing I would like to point out. The thing I'd like to point out is actually I'll just talk about the next one. You ready to talk about Neo?
Yeah.
Okay, so Neo Energy is a spec energy card, which we haven't seen before. That is, if it is attached to a stage 2 Pokemon, it is a double rainbow energy. So,
yeah, like that card is really good too, but it's way worse than Prime Catcher.
It's way worse. Yeah, it's not even debatable.
Same with Master Ball. Master Ball is a great card, but it's so much worse than Prime Catcher. It's like not even a competition, like not even close.
I think everyone would be so happy if Pokemon was like, okay, we messed up, we'll ban Prime Catcher.
I don't think they're doing that.
They're not
and
going
I don't
to,
think the card is bannable. I think the card is strong. It's going to create like a bit of polarizing gameplay. Like sure, if you prize your Prime Catcher, they don't. It kind of sucks, but like it just kind of enables a lot more aggressive plays. And yeah, I'm interested to see how the game changes with it, but Prime Catcher is going to have like an absolutely gigantic impact on like deck building, gameplay, like everything. It's going to be one of the top cards for the entirety of its legality because it's just better boss as an item.
Do you think an ace spec via Seeker would be better?
No. Why would you like Prime Catcher is a supporter on an item card.
Oh yeah, true. Never mind.
Yeah. Like Prime Catcher is really good, and like things like Darkrai V-Star, like maybe you're playing 1/1 Darkrai V-Star into like Roaring Moon now. Like I could talk about this all day. Prime Catcher is very good. You will see it basically every match unless they print a better ace spec, which is really hard. Like this card is probably better than Comp Search, just by thinking. Like I haven't tested it, but from me playing years of experience of computer search. If I could comp search for a item Guzma, I would do it. So,
yeah.
Anyways, next card.
I would like to say I think it would be really cool for ace specs to include like supporters in stadiums.
They're doing energies, so they're already expanding it. Like before, it was only items and tools. So we'll see. I think ace specs is a really cool mechanic if they balance them well. But seeing Prime Catcher as one of the first reveals is a bit concerning because it is like way better than most things. But anyways, next card.
Okay, so Explorers for Ray. It's a reprint of Hapu. But I don't think many people will be able to be like, oh, I know what Hapu does. I don't think I would have been able to. So this card is look at the top 6 cards of your deck, put 2 of those cards into your hand, and discard the rest. Pretty powerful.
Notably,
effect.
also an ancient tag on the card.
There is an ancient tag on the card, which is kind of weird, but there's going to be something that shows up eventually that's going to probably find ancient or future cards. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this card's strong, but in my opinion, I think Colress is probably just slightly better.
Oh yeah, like Colress is better. It just draws you more cards. Like I'd rather have see less one card and have an extra card in my hand. Plus, discarding 4 cards is pretty painful. Like I think Hapu saw like some amount of niche play. Like I'm pretty sure it was in top 8 of Worlds in a Blacephalon lists. I think a Japanese player played that. Don't quote me. but I'm pretty sure that Hapu has a limitless page. So, yeah, this card is like fine. 6-card dig is cool, but you're probably like playing Sada or would rather play a research or something. So I think this card will see a whole lot of play, but it is interesting to have access to.
Yeah. Wait. So I'm just gonna quickly say, I think we should cut out this part of the thing. I forgot to message one of my friends. I told them that I would be on at 11, and then I should have told them now. So I'm just gonna.
Bro.
I'm sorry.
Okay. You're fine.
I woke up late. I am recording pod 12:15 to 12:30. Might be better. So sorry. Okay. He said okay and then okay again. Cool. Okay. We can probably get back to it now. Okay. So, cards like just I think a worse chorus, but you know, it's okay.
Next card is Iron Thorns.
Iron Thorns. This card's so bad.
This card is hilarious.
Okay, so for 1 lightning, 1 colorless, it does 78 damage, and you reveal the top 5 cards of your... No, it does no damage. It's reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Its attack does 50 damage for each future card you find there. Discard the future cards you revealed this way. So bad! And shuffle the other cards back into your deck.
Very random. I'm sure this will be like a fun deck for somebody, but this is worse than like something like Kyogre or Groudon that says like discard the top 5 and for the energies, because like energies are like very easily recoverable and you can play lots of them. But
no, there's going to be an energy recycler for future cards.
Yeah, I think we can pretty safely move on from Iron Thorn. I don't think this will ever see play.
I don't think this card... Landen likes this card more than I do.
I think this card... Like, Lucas thinks this card is, like, bad and unplayable. I think this card has, like, merit.
Niche. So this is Flutterman. Its ability is as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon has no abilities except for Fluttering Dusk. 3 colorless, it does 90 damage, and you put 20 damage... not 20 damage counters, yeesh. Put 2 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I when I first read this, I thought it was Wobbuffet, which is this effect for everything in play when it's active. But I think this card is not going to be, like, 4 of, like Wobbuffet would be in a lot of decks. But I'm sure there's, like, decks that will have abilities, like, maybe there's a locking ability or something in the future that when it's, like, a Trevenant... Like this would block like a Trevenant kind of style, or like I think this will this could block. I mean, this has to be active, so it doesn't really do anything against block. But there's just like I think this card will be this card will have a limitless page before it rotates. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. This card's like...
Plus, it's not too hard to power up. Like 90 plus a 20 snipe is like kind of okay. Like if you're playing it in an ancient deck, you could attack with it. It clean up a knockout on the bench while damaging something.
Yeah.
I think this card has utility.
If they reprint like a Trevenant or a Vileplume that has to be in the active or something, yeah, I could see this card being good. But until they do that, I don't think this card will see much use, if I'm being honest. I think this is just a worse Klefki for its time right now.
Yeah, I think it's a little different than Klefki, but yeah, you're right. I don't think this card is going to be like a 4 of anything. I think it will be like a niche 1 of when it is relevant in the meta, but I think we can move on to the next one.
But yeah, that's kind of what we need. Like, niche 1-ofs are really cool. I'm a huge fan of niche 1-ofs, and I like that. The releases that we've been getting are very good. Like, these are very good cards, except for Prime Catcher. I hate Prime Catcher. But very powerful card. Good. But okay, so... I like these releases that we're getting because they're niche, applicable cards into certain meta types, into certain meta decks that are going to help you in a niche way, but in the situations they help you in, they really help you in. Like, they really help you. Oh, sorry. My grammar is, like, getting worse. For example, basic Sandy Shocks does 20 plus 70. If you have 3 energies, like, that's a first turn attacker. That's a Hoopa. But you're not going to play it in every deck. Fluttermane is good in some situations, but you're not going to play it in every deck. Having these options...
Yeah, it's better than just, like, inherently, like, powerful cards that you kind of have to play. It's cooler to have more different, like, options to pick between, but...
yeah, so I'm happy about it. Iron Boulder EX. I forgot this was a card.
Yeah, Repulsor Axe, 60 for fighting colorless. Your opponent's active takes 8 damage counters if it punches the Iron Boulder the next turn, and then you do 3 for 200, and you discard 2 energy. I think we can skip this one.
We can skip this one.
Poopy card.
It kind of looks like it has a crescent moon on his face.
It does. Next card is good, though. Iron Crown. I want to read this one. I have a viral tweet on Twitter right now saying this card hits through mana fee, so flex that.
100 likes is not viral.
No, just under 200, actually.
Oh,
we're at like
what?
190 now, I know. Anyways, Iron Crown EX, Cobalt Commander. Your future Pokemon's attacks, excluding Iron Crown EX, unfortunately, deal 20 damage extra to your opponent's active. And then for Psychic, Colorless, you do 20 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon.
50.
But, or sorry, what did I say? 20?
20.
Yeah. 50 to 2 of their Pokemon, ignore weakness, resistance, and any effects. So it hits through mana fee, notably, and things like Mimikyu. So this card, I think, really obviously synergizes with future Pokemon, because not only do you boost your damage, so it's kind of like having a Valiant in play, but only to the active. And then you also have the ability to snipe things in conjunction with Valiant. So I think the kind of the obvious problems with this card are like, where's your bench space if you're trying to bench like multiple Valiants, multiple Iron Crown, and how are you getting all these energies in play? There's no Sada. Like if there was a Sada for future Pokemon, this card would be way better.
But that's why they didn't print that.
The text on this card is very good. I don't think it's going to be playable right away, but I think at some point, again in its lifetime, the instant we get good energy acceleration for this,
honestly,
it's like,
why are we not playing with this? Iron Boulder would just do 100 with 2.
Nah.
Yeah, it's kind of bad.
No.
It's kind of bad.
There's a boss around it, and you're doing 100 for 2. Anyways, yeah, 2 for 50 to 2 Pokemon. It's really powerful snipe in conjunction
3 for
with...
50. Not 2 for 50. 3 for 50.
The card's on screen. Yes, my apologies. You're able to really easily snipe things like mana fee. You can take little prize cards here and there, and then you're also just boosting all the rest of your future Pokemon. Like, so say you're playing a future deck, and miraculously we're able to charge up Iron Hands, we're able to charge up all these different future types, we're able to charge up your Valiant, your Crown. You're just doing extra damage, and you also, so you can do sniping, and you also have good punch into the active with multiple of these in play. So if the energy acceleration presents itself, this deck will be very versatile and have a lot of options.
But what I want to point out is that way back here, with the Iron Valiant.
Oh yeah.
With the Iron Crown. Wait, does it? It's only to the active, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to snipe the extra to the bench.
Okay. So, but this card now can do like 60 damage. 60 damage poke on the first turn is pretty good.
60
it's
or
like,
80. You'd want 3 of them to play. Like 80 is a lot better than 60. Like being able to KO Comfey, Sableye, 7 HP basics is huge.
Yeah, and that's fine because you also have Techno Radar. Techno Radar's in the format.
Yeah, true. The feature list, the only problem with feature is the energy acceleration. The cards are all there. The Techno Radar's there. You have Turo to even like kind of help free up bench space if you want to do it that way.
Penny's probably better.
Yeah, I guess Penny would be better. But yeah, like all the pieces are there except the energy acceleration. Like getting 3 energies on your Pokemon each turn is going to be a struggle. I don't really know how you're going to do that. But if you can figure that out, or cards get printed that accelerate the future, or psychics or whatever that aren't Xatu or Natu, because you don't have the bench space for Natu, I think this archetype could really come together and be better or equal to like an Ancient, because Ancient I think is the better type right now. Like just has Sawdust huge, like having good energy acceleration is what you need. But
low key, I would not be mad if they just print. I would not be mad if they printed like the plasma card that they did, where you like search a deck for a plasma energy.
Yeah, we'll see if they'd have like future and Ancient energies. Like Colress Machine would make this playable. Then we're literally just playing Plasma copy 2.0. But that's fine. Plasma was a cool deck. But yeah, I think we can probably move to the next. Leaves. This card's not as good.
Iron Leaves is decent, but they could have just made this card like way better, and then it would have been good in Desard. But it's just a trade. Okay, Iron Leaves EX. Once during a turn, when you play this card from your hand onto your bench, you may switch it with your active. If you do, you may move energy from your other Pokemon to this Pokemon in any way you like. So it's a Tapu Koko GX ability reprint. And then for 2 grass and 1 colorless, it does 180, and you can't attack during your next turn with this attack, I'm assuming.
Maybe if you're playing a grass deck, you want to hit grass weakness, but you're not going to be playing a grass deck that doesn't have a better attacker than 3 for 180. So I don't think this card will it would be a very niche scenario. You'd need to be playing like a Rainbow Energy box if Rainbow Energies got reprinted, and then also be needing to hit grass weakness. It'd be like a very, very niche scenario for this card to be played.
They could have made this card way better. Like, they could have made this card way
It could have done, like, even if it did, like, 220. I don't know. But, yeah, like as is, I think this card is pretty well bulked.
It's only here to reprint. It's only here to be a Charizard, like, quote-unquote counter, but it's not even a counter because you have
to play Grass Energies.
Because
if it was 3 colorless for this, then we're talking. because it's splashable. It's super easy to power up, and you just have a one-shot on Zard, but it costs grass energies. So you're already playing a grass deck, and this would be worse than your grass attackers if you're playing your grass deck. So
and
next
this, I think that this will not see much played because it's also just a trade. Like, it's just 2 for 2.
Yeah.
It's just not really worth it. Don't play this card
Raging
most
Bolt.
likely.
Raging Bolt.
Raging Bolt, cool card. 240 HP on a basic's insane.
It's Tinglu. And no weakness. 240, no weakness is huge. That's bulk. This card, Raging Bolt, colorless. You discard your hand and draw 6. So kind of a nice consistency attack to start with. Kind of adjacent, like Abyss Seeking or something along those lines. And then we have Extreme Ascent. For lightning fighting, you do 70. You discard any amount of basic energy attached to your Pokemon. You do 70 for each card you discarded. So right off the bat, this is kind of comparing to some trap cards of the past. Think like Reshizard and Charizard or Rayquaza Vmax, sorry. Those kind of things. But we've also seen cards such as like old Rayquaza EX from Dragon's Exalted be very strong. It just kind of is accompanied by what acceleration you have. So,
and you have Sada now. You have Sada, you have Sandy Shock's EX.
You wouldn't be able to really like stream this attack as much, but I could totally see it if you're playing these energies or one of them. You could pretty easily with like Earthen Vessel. Like, it's really easy to splash energies in these ancient decks moving forward because Vessel is huge. Not only will the Vessel let you discard energies for your Sadas, but it also lets you pull all these random types out if you're playing these dragons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see this as like a one-of in your ancient deck to nuke something, but like Flaffy's rotating, Sandy Shocks is not reliable acceleration, so you're basically playing this only with Sada, and it'd be kind of adjacent to like Raichu and Miraidon, where you're like, once a game you can blow something up, but you're pretty stretching your resources to try and do it twice.
You could just play this with Koraidon. Like, you could just play a Lightning Energy in Koraidon,
and then
it's a blow up at some point.
I don't know. I definitely think this card is playable, but I'm just kind of like cautious on this kind of card because of how much it's burned us in the past, thinking this kind of card is good. But this one doesn't have a cap like Reshiram had like a cap of damage. You can only discard 3 energies, and then Charizard VMAX was VMAX.
Not Charizard VMAX, Rayquaza VMAX.
Sorry, I keep mixing them up.
You're good.
But yeah, I think this is probably like one of the better effects. It's on a basic. 70 modifier is quite high for this. Yeah, very bulky, no weakness, good first attack.
3
I think this
retreat cost kind of meant though.
Yeah, well, you gotta have a drawback somewhere. Like, you can't have 240 hit points and 1 retreat, right? So
yeah. So card's pretty good. Card is pretty good.
There's 2 more cards. We got the 2 more ancient dogs. We got Walking Wake, Cerulean Pulse. All of its damage from attacks go through effects, so it can go through things like Mimikyu, like we were talking about earlier, and then its attack's a little underwhelming. If your opponent's active Pokemon is affected by any special condition, this attack does 220 more, so I think the theory is... What did I say?
You said 220 more.
Oh, I was... Yeah, my bad. It does 240 for 3 energy if they're affected by special conditions, so the theory is you go the Brute Bonnet, old Amoonguss, and then you're 250ing them. So yeah. I could maybe see it.
And then you play Sneasler, so you're 270ing, but you're just 1 energy. You're like, you need Vitality Band, and then you're hitting 280, and then that's kind of good.
It sounds like, oh, perfect, I'm hitting 280 on a 1 prizer, but you're 2 for 2 trading. There's things with more than 280 hit points now. It's not a V-Star world anymore. We have like things like Charizard, we have things like Gardevoir, and then like it sounds low maintenance, like, oh, my basic's hitting for that much, but then you're like, oh, well, I actually have to have a Brute Bonnet with an Ancient booster, and I also have to have a Sneasler, and Lucas is saying I also have to have a Vit Band. Not that you need a Vit Band all this stuff, but
honestly,
you at least need Booster Capsule, Brute Bonnet.
You could just make this a capsule deck and then do 240 on the first turn.
Yeah, I don't think this card is bad, but I don't think this is one of the better cards we've seen today. I think both the other Ancient Dogs are better.
This is probably Roaring Moon.
I think we could, like, yeah, I like that it goes through effects, like maybe it's a one of. Again, I think it's like really easy to play. Like, I could conceivably see like an ancient deck with like 4 different energy types.
Yeah, but we always think about that, and then those decks never work.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's possible with Earthen Vessel.
Possible, yeah.
But last card, I think we're going way over time. How long are we into this? Like, probably almost an hour already. 40 minutes nearly. Oh, okay, we're chilling. Never mind. The last card is Gouging Fire. This card is sweet. Fire color is 60. Fire color is 260, and then it can't attack till it moves from the active, which I think is a little more interesting than like can't attack next turn.
Yeah.
A bit harder of a drawback because you can't just pass it away.
But I mean, 260 is a
3 for 260 is a lot.
But isn't there also the Rapidash? Is it 60 more or 30 more?
30 more. I don't think you need that though. Like 3 for 260, when you got 230 hit points and you're not damaging yourself, you throw the capsule on this 260 for 3. I mean, you could Magma Basin plus what's it called? Soda.
Basin's getting rotated.
No, it's not. It's Brilliant Stars.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
no.
Brilliant Stars is probably the most the oldest set that stays legal.
So yeah, this is Koraidon Entei. Koraidon Gouging Fire, I would say, is the box deck. Because you're just doing...
Yeah, because the Koraidon already takes fire energies and amount. I'm just curious, what's the difference between those two? Is an extra 20 damage worth damaging yourself for 30?
For
but you
60.
also got Outrage. Oh, it's 60, right? That's a lot of damage to yourself.
That's a lot of damage. But I honestly think that Koraidon might just be slightly better because you go booster capsule,
no weakness.
Force them to hit 230 on the first turn. If they don't hit 230 on the first turn, then you just Outrage for an absurd amount of damage. If they ever poke you.
Yeah, Outrage is way better than 2 for 60. Outrage is a really unassuming attack, but if you've ever had experience with Outrage Pokemon, even like Reshizard, especially when they have 290 hit points, it is a lot of damage for 2 energies.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know, it's a debate to be made about which one's better, but I think Koraidon EX kind of just...
Yeah, they're very similar cards. It's interesting that they printed both of these at the same time, because they're pretty close to the same thing, just a little bit different, big HP, big damage, a little bit like a downside. This downside is less, but no Outrage and 20 less damage is pretty relevant, so I'm curious to see which one's better. But you also have Magma Basin support.
Yeah.
Maybe you play both in the same deck. I don't know.
Maybe, but I don't know. Then there's the same Pokemon. But yeah, I'm really excited about these. Ancient Pokemon seem to be the big hard hitters, like your Roaring Moons and stuff. And then your future Pokemon...
kind of like Single Strike and Rapid Strike, Single Strike, Rapid Strike.
And then future Pokemon are your more mechanically diverse Pokemon that do cool stuff.
Oh, mechanical.
But yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's all the cards for today.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of new ones. There's a whole lot of good ones.
Whole lot of good ones.
I think my favorite ones here are probably the Iron Hand Single Prizer. To see the most play, Iron Hand Single Prizer, obviously Prime Catcher, and then the more I look at the Koraidon EX, I'm quite interested in this card actually. It's very well statted. I'm kind of concerned with the 60 damage to yourself, but 3 for 280, you can power it up in 1 turn, and Outrage is just a really, really good attack, especially when you're pushing yourself into 290 range. That's more HP than Reshizard had, so...
It's pretty broken, and it's a 2-prizer, so...
Yeah, so, those are the new cards. We're going to move on to the sequencing segment now.
Also, Reshizard was a 3-prizer that was doing less damage, and it was a broken card. That was such a good deck.
But I think it's time to move to the sequencing segment. We've spent a good chunk.
I like Iron Crown EX, but yes, sequence 9.
So this week's a little shorter. The reason I chose this, we could have done another one, but I think people kind of have this misconception, if you haven't played Mew before, that you have to just fill your bench, you have to dig for all this stuff, you have to hit everything. But Mew is actually quite low maintenance, and you don't... This is mostly double turbo, Fusion Energy, you have to dig a lot more, but... this turn was quite simple, but we accomplished the goal we were looking for with drawing that many cards, because we just didn't need to draw more cards. And I guess the takeaway of this is Mew does not need to draw a whole bunch of cards if you've already hit the combo.
The bigger takeaway is that you can't be focused on one game plan.
Yeah, exactly. I think, there's just this misconception that Mew is gun-ho, fill the bench, triple fusion strike system, discard all your cards, draw a whole bunch, but it's actually, really important to conserve a lot of your resources, even conserving Lost Vacuums, conserving, obviously, your Power Tablets, conserving your Ultra Balls is huge.
Oh, wait, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
But anyways, we'll start. So this is just me and Lucas. We did a test game here. I was playing against your Tina V-Star deck, but this hand is... For listeners only, Judge, Boss's Orders, Battle VIP Pass, Lost Vacuum, Box of Disaster, Forest Sealstone, Path of the Peak, and Double Turbo Energy. Lucas did Mulligan once, hence the extra card. But here to start the turn off, this turn 1 was pretty basic. I just played the Battle VIP Pass for Genesect Mew, attached the Double Turbo to the bench. I also attached a Forest Sealstone to my Genesect. I notably did hold the Box of Disaster and attach the Forest, because... Tina very frequently does play a copy of Iono, so if they do just so happen to have the one Iono in their hand, they're not usually playing Lost Vacuum, so I can safely put my Forest Seal in play to I want to prove myself a bit.
That's something that me and Landon talked about. We're thinking about if we're playing Tina, we kind of want Vacuum because so many decks just put down the Seal Stone before.
Yeah, if I was playing Tina, I would totally consider one of Lost Vacuum because, as Lucas said, it's really good for when you're trying to Roxanne people and get rid of the Force Seal at the same time and path them and all this stuff. But it's also
because they just put down a Seal Stone and wait.
Yeah, because they know you don't play Vacuum. But if you have the Vacuum, you go Vacuum, Roxanne, Path, Knockout. They're like, oh. Yeah. But anyways, this is not Tina. Reason I held the box here is because thinking about Choice Belt to take the Knockout 220. I did prize the Choice Belt this game, but the box is not that important because they can usually Requiem through you. They're not one-shotting you, so the box doesn't really do anything. Unless it's on a V Pokemon, but I didn't want to box my attached Mew because I want to belt it instead.
There's also no way that Tina one-shots.
No, yeah, without Requiem.
Without Drapion.
True. So,
on the first turn.
But anyways, we just passed this hand over. I think Lucas kind of set up a bit, and we drew for turn the double turbo.
So I messed up. I was supposed to do 110 to this active Mew V, but I forgot to flower selecting.
Yeah,
it was pretty bad.
Lucas should have had a +1 card in hand and had done 110 to me.
But it wouldn't have changed much.
Yeah, it wouldn't have changed how this turn would have went. And we're just more so doing the first turn or two to see how you kind of would have set up. But
and I also probably would have lost anyway. So
yeah, this matchup's pretty good as long as you're not playing Tomb as the Mew player. But the obvious two pathways to take this turn are like Judge Path, knock out the active, or Boss Chase the Tina V, which I'm always going to chase the Tina V, because if they don't have Tina Vs in play, their deck does not really do anything at all against you, because they're either going to cram you, Radiant Greninja you, or Sableye you, which are not going to win them the game if they don't have Tinas out. Yeah. So my usual game plan in this matchup is aggressively chase Tinas, especially before they evolve, because it lets you conserve tablets. So here, instead of playing the Judge, I went Boss, Tina V. Oh, can you go back to the previous hand? Boss Tina V, I played the Path, lost vacuumed away the Judge, lost owning my Path, because Path is not hugely important in this matchup, only shuts off concealed cards. And then I played the box onto the active, I think, double turboed it, and then drew 3 cards.
Yep. No, box on the bench, doesn't matter.
Yeah, boss the bench Tina V. So here, I just drew 3. Like, again, I could have Seal Stone first or something to get, like, another Genesect to draw more cards, but all I need to hit here is a Mew Vmax and or Power Tablet and or Choice Belt and or more Genesects off these 3 cards because I have the Seal Stone.
Yeah.
So I chose to draw 3 cards, and what did I draw? I drew 2 Vmaxes.
What happened? How did what happened?
Why?
I'm so. How did you? Oh wait.
So I got here. So yeah, I drew 3 cards. Off my 3 cards, it was Iono, Mew Vmax, Mew Vmax.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's considerable, like, not evolve 2 of them, but, like, again, I don't really want to Iono myself. Having 2 in play guarantees I attack next turn, especially, like, if I could get Path. I'm only Ionoing myself for 4, so, like, I chose to bench 2, but you can get punished for that, but very frequently you're going to Psychic Leap mid-game, so I wasn't too worried about having 2 this early. But, yeah, as a Mew player, be very cautious having 2 Mew Vexes in play, so you can force them through a 2-prizer as well, but you can do that with Psychic Leap later. But, yeah, like, I think the takeaway of this turn is, and I Seal Stone for Power Tablet to get the 220, because I didn't have Choice Belt in deck, because it was prized. But takeaway of this is, like, if you're playing Mew, you can take it real simple. Like, this was a great turn, and I Fusion Strike System for 3. I accomplished everything I wanted in that turn. I have a follow-up supporter for next turn. Off the prizes, I got Ultra Ball Mew V, but I only drew 3 cards. But I did accomplish absolutely everything I wanted in the turn. So, yeah.
I think the bigger thing here is look for alternative plays to the plays you have in your hand. Like, not all the time, but if your hand has a couple things that you can do, really think about, okay, this is the obvious one. This is my line if I do the obvious one. Here's the non-obvious one. Like, the non-obvious play here was, it was okay. For a beginner player...
If you go back to the first hand, because...
this hand?
No, go... One more to the right. Yeah. Like Lucas is saying, the obvious play here, finish your sentence and then I'll pipe in.
For a beginner player, I think the obvious play is, I've seen a lot of people go Judge Path and will knock out. But then your prize map is kind of wonky. Because
you love going 2-2-2 if possible. Like, going 2-2-2 is very, like, possible in this matchup.
But it's not as possible now that you're down the Choice Belt.
Yeah, well, I can take the choice belt off the prize cards too.
True, but what I'm saying is with choice belt, then you
Yeah,
have
it's like
choice belt
multiple
double
tablets.
tablet to attack, and then
Twice.
if they get
Yeah.
rid of the choice belt, like it's hard to go 2/2/2 into Tina, but I mean, this play here, removing them down to 1 Giratina is super big
Yeah,
because
it's not easy for them to set up multiple either because they're not. Tina, it takes a lot to get your setup going.
yeah. So what you can do in this matchup, like if Landen got a choice belt or anything off the discard, you can go KO the Tina V. Then if they don't bench a Tina V, you just wipe the Tina V star off the board and you win the game. If they do bench a Tina V, you boss the Tina V, you KO, and then you try to hit the choice belt. And then if you hit the choice belt, you kind of
and
win.
worst case, you can also like, if they attack with Tina V Star, they go to 3 prizes. That's when you psychically poke for 50 or whatever, and then you can take the KO with the tablets, even though you've prized the choice belt.
That's true.
So yeah, taking the Tina V out here really pressures them because now I'm able to, like Lucas said, if they bench another Tina V and have another V Star, like if they have V Star Tina V, I bench the Tina V, and now I'm at 2 prize cards. They have that left. Like sure, they can like Roxanne path me there, but yeah, I like this matchup. They have to hit a lot of stuff, but
They do have
that's
to hit
the
a lot of
sequence.
stuff. Sorry. So yeah, think about the
I would have
alternate plays.
judged.
If you're
I would have judged if his hand was bigger. Also,
maybe yeah. If think about alternate plays to your plays you're thinking of, especially for beginners. Think of your alternate plays. In this hand, an alternate player might be like, oh, I've seen a lot of people judge path, but with the boss, it's amazing. Yeah. That's something I had to learn. I'm still learning it. Don't tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is the destroyer.
how to go from 5-0 to 5-4.
Yeah. Tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision. Anyways, that's the sequencing segment. For the last portion, how much time do we have left, Lucas? We're trying to keep these to an hour 15.
Yeah, we have a lot of time.
Whew, we're chilling. So we got just under 30 minutes here to talk about the Kyoto League, Champions League. So this is what took place over in Japan, obviously. I think this was last weekend.
Yes.
Honestly, not quite sure. I was kind of wrapped up in the Christmas stuff. But first place was a Lost Box Kyogre list.
Yeah,
this list is actually pretty sick.
I
do
cool.
like it looking at it.
I like this list a lot. So pretty much this deck is just get past a couple turns and then Kyogre. This deck does that so efficiently. This is, in my opinion, I really like that this deck plays Sableye, whereas a lot of toward Lost Box and like the San Antonio Lost Box. I don't know if toward Lost Box played Sableye, but I know that like the Paradox one with the 2 goggles and the Tropius Minior does not play Sableye. Sableye is such a broken card that if you can put it in a Lost Box deck, then you should. But this deck is very strong. You have your early game options with your Roaring Moon and your Iron Hands. But then you also have that like mid to late game option of your Sableye. Stuff like that. You have that aggressive there's no Lost Vacuum in this deck. Never mind. You don't have the aggressive Greninja. You have the turn 2 Greninja. But then late game, you Kyogre and you play the Ditto so that you can start 5 you have 5 Comphase pretty much. And yeah, I really like this deck.
Yeah, I like the theory of this. Like, playing the one of Sableye, like having a copy of Roxanne, Countercatcher, and Sableye in your list opens up that play of being able to catcher, Roxanne, Lost Mine the bench stuff. But being able, like, with the Roaring Moon, with the Iron Hands, you can kind of take 2 prize cards on anything, and then Kyogre very frequently can take 4 prize cards in a turn. So, like, you can win in 2 attacks with this. Like, not that hard. If they're not playing Manaphy, or it's also like pretty easy to like take a prize with Cram, take a 2 prize knockout, and then Kyogre for 3 or whatever. Like, I haven't tested this deck much, but looking at this list, I haven't looked at it really before. I like what's going on here.
The one thing is, I'm kind of concerned. I'm kind of concerned about the 2 Rod, 2 Recycler. I would like 3 Rod, but
yeah, you can squeak away with it though.
You can cut a nest
I think
ball.
this list
you can
is
cut
like.
A nest ball.
I think if you haven't played this, like just by looking at this list here, I think it's a lot more aggressive than you would think. Like I said, you can win in 2 attacks, and you only need a Recycler to Kyogre or a Recycler Rod or 2 of those 4 cards. I don't think a lot of games you're really needing to Super Rod 4 Pokemon because your deck is so aggressive. Like, you're winning in 2 or 3 attacks most times.
Yeah, I will be trying this deck. I will be trying. Yeah,
this list actually looks really cool. I've seen this before, but just the combination of Roaring Moon, Iron Hands, and Kyogre, like, you can win in a very little amount of turns.
Yeah, very strong deck.
Okay, yeah, first place. Great job to this
Very,
player. There was no
great job.
names on Pokeka Book this time, so unfortunately I couldn't do shoutouts. But
Yeah,
congrats to
the
this
Jet
player.
Energy's cool. I like Jet Energy.
Yeah, it's like a one of.
Very good deck. I will be building this. I will be trying this. So.
Yeah. Next list.
Yeah, next list
Second
we have
place was
Darkrai,
Roaring Moon.
V-Star, Roaring Moon, with 4 cross receivers.
Whoa! Why are you playing that? I guess just to get back your. Is this how down bad we are for VS Seeker, or?
A bit, yeah. I mean, because you can cross receiver Iono, so you kind of have 3 Ionos in this deck now.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
I don't like playing 3 Roaring Moon personally. Like, you basically want 3 Roaring Moon in play throughout the game. I guess you're playing, maybe because you have Cross Transceiver plus Super Rod, but just having 3 Roaring Moon on the board is like very frequently required because you need your active one that's attacking, and you need 1 powered up so you don't get like Ionoed out of powering up, and then you need 1 powered up after that. So like, I like having 3 Roaring Moons in play. Prizing a Roaring Moon seems pretty punishing in this list, so I'd kind of like to see 4 copies, but other than that, like, this looks pretty good. Pokestop.
Pretty fun too. The amount of switch cards is sick. Very, very turbo. Like, the 4 trekking shoes, no energy switch, no water energy, no Moltres.
Yeah, very turbo, very one-dimensional. But this can work. Definitely a little better in the best of 1 environment of Japan, I think. But, I mean, I'd still like to see Moltres energy switch, but if you're playing Darkrai, this is probably what you're going for. Because I guess Darkrai kind of takes the place of Energy Switch because it just gets back double Dark Patch if you need it to.
Yeah.
But yeah, second place. Great job to this player as well. We've seen Roaring Moon lists similar to this, but Cross Transceiver is an interesting thing. Be interesting to see how clunky this is because the more I play Roaring Moon, the more I realize that it's not that consistent, honestly. That's my personal experience.
I haven't played Roaring Moon enough to really give it
I find that hitting turn 1 attack with Roaring Moon isn't actually that easy unless your opening hand is really good. Like, because there's just so many random things you can draw. Like, you could draw a bunch of vessels, you can draw energies, your Pokestop can whiff. You have 4 Cross Switcher, 4 Cross Transceiver, which are dead cards turn 1.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think we can move on from this. We've seen looks for
this is
top 4 Goldango. I think this player specifically wanted to spite the Lost Mine podcast and played on hard mode all day to make a point. But Goldango here is playing no Cologne, unfortunately. But this is the only pairing of Goldango I think that is playable with Palkia with Greninja. I'd really like to see canceling Clone here though because
then you're kind of just cooking.
But this is like an interesting engine. This is kind of similar to the Pokestop Zard list we were playing like a while ago. The 4-worker, 4 Pokestop engine.
Yeah.
Which I really liked in Charizard with the Pidgeot Arceus a while back. Because it gave you 8 path bumps. And this deck doesn't function with path and play either. Because you like... Coin Bonus is a bad draw ability, but it's extra bad if it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Goldango, sure, you can one-shot stuff. Sure, you can snipe stuff with Palkia. But like, you're drawing tops 5 cards a turn if you're getting 3 coin bonus and concealed cards. Like, sure, you have the Milotic to stop Ionos, but like, this is an absolute pile. Like, your draw supporter is worker. What? I just don't understand how this ever sets up.
Your draw supporter is worker, but you also have Goldango for the later game. You also have Gran. Like, this deck definitely
like, my point is,
cards.
I don't think it, like, I don't know. Ken played this yesterday, and he was saying how bad he was drawing. I mean, it's all anecdotal evidence, obviously, but G-String Man, I just don't think it's worth playing this over literally anything else. It just seems like you're playing a hard mode. You're playing a clunky deck that one-shots things, but other things one-shot things better.
Yeah, true. Like, low-key, this kind of just looks like it could just be the Palkia Water Box, but they just wanted Goldango. Yeah,
like, Goldango's cool, but, like, drawing 1 card off your ability is not, like, difference between Refinement and Coin Bonus is, like, you're literally drawing twice as many cards. Plus, you're also thinning all the bad cards out, so you're getting Roxanne and Ionote into better cards. Whereas here, you're just, like, accumulating all the bad cards into your hand, and then, I mean, this has, like, Ultra Ball, Superior, Earthen Vessel to thin cards out of the bad cards, but trying to set up, like, multiple Goldengos, your 1-1 line of Palkia, your 1-1 line of Melodic, like, I would much rather see the Melodic just be 2-2 Palkia, and then playing Colognes. Like, I do think Palkia, Greninja, Cologne with a partner is a playable thing. Like we've seen the Ice Rider in the regionals the last little bit, but I think Ice Rider is just probably better than Goldango because your deck is just more consistent and able to do what you want to do.
Yeah, probably.
And you don't have to play all the dead weight of superiors and energy retrieval and all these cards to enable the Goldango. And you're playing 11. I mean, 11 energies isn't that many, but yeah, I don't need to talk about this anymore unless you do.
No, I don't.
I'm not a fan regardless. Congrats to this player. I'm glad you did well, but I think you probably would have won the tournament if you played a different deck.
Damn. Okay. So, this is... I automatically do not like this list. Automatically think that this deck should just be playing one Elisa Sparkle.
Yeah, that's kind of like the guy you played against in Texas,
Carson Washer.
Yeah. I do kind of... The more I think about it, I'm kind of on board with the fusion energies a little bit, because then what are you... You're only losing to Charizard. You're not losing to Tomb anymore. Like, maybe I do just play Mew to Portland with the fusions. But yeah, Lucas is saying the Elisa's is sick, because not only can you Sealstone, get your 2 fusion energies in play, start drawing under Spirit Tomb, but you also can, like, actually donk people. Like, if they open, like, a weaker Pokemon, you could do up to... what, 100, 130, 160, 190, 220. You could technically 220 a V going second.
Yeah.
Technically. If you hit the absolute gas, not that you're going to hit that, but having an ability to donk people if they have a bad start.
You can only do 200.
Why?
70 plus 150.
Oh, double turbo.
No, wait. No, I'm dumb. You wouldn't have.
No, I'm right.
You're right. I'm wrong.
You
I thought I was doing
50.
50. I thought we were doing 50 for some reason.
So technically you can 220, but I think this would more come up if they start like a Ralts or like Comfey Pass or something like that. So
it with this list, which is sick.
That is not this list because you're not playing Elisa, but
oh yeah, I would cut Cleansing Gloves automatically for it.
Yeah, I don't think Cleansers has that much value. Like, sure, it's nice into Gardevoir because you can one-shot the Guardies, but like that's not really your game plan in the matchup anyways. Like, you're kind of Judge Path, Avery. Maybe the matchup's a little better because going... Not even donking people, but being able to attack going second. Like, you don't need Meloetta. Like, I don't think that Meloetta is really that necessary, but even just having this mini fusion energy package to be able to, like, maybe kill a Ralts going second or something, just, like, puts you a whole turn ahead. So, I'm kind of not talking about this list at all right now.
Sorry, I just zoned out for a second. I, like, Omega zoned out.
Anyways, yeah, this is a decent new list. I'd probably cut Cleansing Gloves for something else. I'd like to see an Elisa here.
This list
if you're playing Double Fusion.
But yeah, one thing I want to say.
Play 4th Cram, though.
4th Cram, there's actually a reason you don't play 4th Cram. In Japan, Cramormatics is like super rare.
That's true.
And they're quite expensive. So.
But here, play your Crams. They're like a quarter, so or probably less. Play 4 Crams.
4 Crams.
I was a 3 Cram before rotation kind of guy because you had Quick Ball, but you actually need the hand thinning now. It's kind of required. Otherwise, you'll just get stuck with Vips and Nest Balls and all that stuff in your hand that you don't want.
Yep.
But next deck, I think.
Yep.
This was our top
deck.
4.
Woo!
There was only 6 of the top 8 lists available, so this is now we're jumping to top 8. I don't think we had both finals, top 4, 2 of the top 8s, and then a couple top 16s. But this is Lucas's favorite kind of pile, right?
Yeah, I mean, Iron Valiant, Urshifu,
Luminous
Radiant Zard.
Whoa, Luminous is whack.
Luminous is kind of sick because it just is a.
Were you playing Melanie before, like in the list we had on the pod a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, but with Luminous you can hit with Radiant Zard.
Yeah.
So it kind of like.
I'm just curious, like, how good it is to sacrifice being able to set up an Urshifu in one turn, because like being able to stream Rapid Flows is like very strong part of Urshifu in Teleon. Like being able to play the double Melanie, it's like a huge part of the deck. Streaming Rapid Flow multiple turns in a row. That's like when I was before Manaphy was legal. Holy, Urshifu was broken. But this list is, I mean, notably playing 3 Urshifu Vmax and 2 Vs. But yeah, other than the Luminous and the Radzard.
Sorry, I'm zoning out so much. Oh my goodness, the 3 Vmax is like pretty good. But I'm kind of confused about it, but I know that it's probably just because you have a way more basic search than you do evolution search.
Yeah, kind of like how people used to play like the 4th Tina V-Star or whatever instead of, Because you just had more basic search than evolution search. So you would play that, and then, I mean, it makes sense. And the Luminous energy is fine. Like, you get to attack with the Radiance Hard, you get to attach 1 energy, and then you just get to do 150 without attaching a Rapid energy. But, like, it's kind of like, I would prefer to see Melanie. I think
Like, you could just cut 2 Luminous for 2 water energy.
Oh,
cut
wait,
the
never
rain.
mind. The Luminous is good. You're right. Gale Thrusting for 1 energy is sick.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean,
again, I think this deck is just worse than Intel Urshifu for the most part.
Yeesh. Bro does not care.
I don't care. Like, I'm not like roasting this guy. Congrats on the finish, but like, I still don't really see a reason other than like donk cheesing people.
In Japan, though, this is more consistent than Intel Urshi. Because
yeah, that's true. And like donking people in best of 1 is pretty silly. It doesn't.
Best of 1. Imagine you're just like sitting down. You're like,
yeah,
first tournament.
You
pull up to the Champions League best of 1 where you got to do so well. You start Manaphy. They're going first. They go Valiant, and you go, okay.
Yeah, especially it stings because you had to win the lottery to get into this like 3,000 player tournament. You pull up and just get donked going second. That would be so cheese. But yeah, I think we can move on from this deck. It's cool. I don't think that you should play this if you were from not Japan.
Arceus Zeraora!
Yeah, I know exactly what happened. This guy happened to play the copy or the cards Judge and Path to the Peak in his best of 1 tournament run, and just so happened to play Judge and Path to the Peak and win. I don't think that any of the Lightning Pokemon probably contributed very much to the win rate.
Yeah, maybe. But Arceus.
But for listeners, this is Arceus Zeraora VMAX V-Star.
With a Flying Pika VMAX. Flying Pika is actually kind of cool in a Miraidon.
Flying Pika is fine. I have no hate for that. I mean, I wouldn't be playing Flying Pika or Arceus right now.
Do you play Regigigas?
No. I love Mr. Stratford, but I still think you're coping a bit by playing Arceus right now.
Damn. There are 15 energies in this guy's deck. Oh my goodness.
That's good. I love playing 15 energies, but there is no way you can tell me that Zeraora V, VMAX, and V-Star are the correct things to be powering up with Arceus right now.
Wait. Sorry. I just need to see how much damage Zeraora V does. Zeraora V TCG. Okay. So, this is the Chilling
That's
Raven.
the Rapid Strike one.
So, this one is 190, and then during your next turn, this one can attack. So, that's like decent. And then I'm gonna look up...
Yeah, decent is correct. There are like a lot of V Pokemon that are legal. And I've read both these cards, and it did not change my opinion on this
240,
deck.
discard... Oh, man. Wow.
This is just like,
why?
yeah. It's not it.
I mean, I guess you can go Trinity Nova, and then attach, and then 240, and then attach, and then 240. But, like, at that point, I would just rather be playing Arctina.
Yeah, like, Giratina V-Star is better than... like, totally better than Zeraora VMAX and V-Star. Can we go back to the list?
Sorry.
That's fine. But... yeah, like, this also is bad because you're...
Oh my goodness.
You're powering up another Fighting Week attacker, so, like, you can't even...
Cover
Arceus' weakness. Like, sure, you have Flying Pika to resist, but 160 damage is not enough into things that aren't basic only. Like,
what are the fighting Pokemon in this format? There's not really that much.
Urshifu? This deck absolutely destroyed by Urshifu.
No, you wouldn't. Like, they would just set up one, and then your Zeraora doesn't die to that, so you just go attack, and then if they put down Inteleons to counter that, you just max Balloon. So, like, the matchup's, like, probably fine. But I would like to see, like,
this would be like the Maron matchup, but they can't kill you turn 1. And the Maron matchup is pretty much free.
Yeah.
If you draw a functional hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we need to talk about this anymore.
This list is kind of... It's funny, though.
This is not good. He's playing Star Alchemy as well.
There's Star Alchemy, and then canceling Cologne, so that you can Zeraora V-Star's V-Star power.
Because you haven't Starbirthed yet, also,
you haven't Starbirthed yet. You've bossed a Manaphy, and then you've Cologne. Like, the deck is sick if it
doesn't even play Bibarel. Like, how the hell do you hit all that without Starbirth? This list
Landon's
is just...
hating, man.
I'm sorry, the more I look at this list, the more it is not good. This list is trash. Certified garbage.
Man. What about the person, man? The person's gonna cry now.
I love this person. You are a great person, unless you've done something horrible I don't know about. But your deck list is bad, bro. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be real.
Dang. Yeesh, man. Okay.
I'd like to move on. Now we're in top 16 territory. This was the top placing Charizard list. Kind of interesting. They get to play the good Charmander now.
Sure.
But those playing Devo TM? What would that be good against?
Devo TM's sick. Okay. Devo TM's actually so sick. You Devo TM in the mirror match, and then if they overset up, like, they just die. They lose on the spot. I've had people play Devo TM against me when I'm playing Zard, they're playing Zard, and Devo TM just absolutely slapped me. Holy.
But my question is, like, is it like good if they know you're playing it? Because can't they just play around it, like not overcommit the candies? Because I'm assuming the theory is like you've noticed they're down like 3 rare candies or something. You KO like the Charizard with a Charmeleon under it or whatever, and then you devolve everything. Or
you can
whatever.
also just go like, you can also go KO Zardiax. They're down 1 candy. They're probably gonna candy a Pidgeot, and then you can go. Then if they candy another Zard, then that's
you just put 180 on the Charmeleon Charizard, right?
Not even that, but like you KO a Zard, Pidgeot's down. You do something into a Zard. You go Devo TM Iono, and then they just have to either put down 1 Zard or 1 Pidgeot. And I would like to see this list playing Lost City. Lost City would make this way better because you Lost City the Zard. You go 180 into a Zard. I would think the theory behind this, I would think, is 180 a Zard, kill a Zard, 180 a Zard, Lost City, Devo TM Iono, sweep the board. They have no Charmeleon. They have to hit everything without Pidgeot in play, and you've gotten rid of their candies, and you've Iono'd them to a low hand size because later on in the game they're going to be on, like, you're going to be on 2 prizes, and then you're going to go 1 prize or Devo TM, whatever. Or you're going to be able to put 2 prizes.
I think it's worth trying. But other than that, this list is pretty basic. No Lost Cities, which makes me cringe. Even seeing, like, Azul's group play 1 Lost City, 1 Artisan still made me cringe. Sacking your Guardian matchup is not worth, I think.
I would also
other than that,
cut probably,
1 Vacuum is kind of sad.
I would probably cut Defiance Band for Band.
Oh yeah. Fit Band is definitely better than Defiance Band, I think. The 30 damage is, like, basically never more relevant than the extra 10 right now. Because, like we've talked about before, 210 to 220, 270 to 280. Those are the numbers that matter.
210 to 240 kills Iron Hands, that's it. But they're taking 2 prizes already.
Yeah, they will have taken 2 prizes, so it will always be 240. But anyways, yeah, I think this is a pretty basic Charizard list other than those things.
Yep. Cleansing Gloves. So there's a lot of Cleansing Gloves in this format.
Yeah, and notably, we haven't seen any Gardevoir either, so maybe that's why everyone's packing cleansers and the Guardies are just getting destroyed.
Yeah. Team with Cleansing Gloves makes sense. Like, it makes sense that there is a Cleansing Gloves in this deck, because you automatically KO a Guardy EX, and then this match is very strong.
I played Cleansing Gloves at Portland last year, and it was great, because like, I just farmed Guardies, and I hit a Mew, and it was good against the Mew. It's basically belt against them.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're playing Tina V-Star specifically, I think Cleansing Gloves is playable, but if you're playing anything else, then it's probably not worth playing, because 310 exactly is the number that Tina needs to hit into both the relevant Psychic types. And I don't think it's really relevant on anything else.
Yeah,
like, what would... Yeah.
There's no rope in this deck, but there's only 3-cart 1 switch.
Huh. No, I'm a big 4-switch cart 1 rope or 4-switch cart 2 rope guy now. The more I play this deck, playing 4-switch cart's kind of OP. I'd like to see cutting like the Tina V for another switch card or something along those lines.
Yeah, like you cut also, Tina V for rope and then cut switch.
If you're playing Pokegear in Tina, this is my opinion, obviously, and you're playing 4 to 5 switch cards, cut your Pokegear for an extra switch card. What are you doing? I do not understand that personally.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, this is a pretty basic list. Yeah, there's not really too much to talk about with this list. So yeah, do you want to move on?
Next one. Yeah.
I will say though, 2 boss, 2 counter catcher, kind of cool. Capturing Aroma.
No.
Capturing Aroma.
My long lost friend. This deck has become extremely unplayable since I was crowned regional champion last year.
Dang, flexing.
I gotta flex. Why not? I earned that accomplishment. I am a regional champion.
Wow.
It is real. It has happened.
Whoa.
I can flex it.
Crazy.
Yeah, Artina, I don't really know why you'd be playing this right now. Like, what's your matchups? Like, actually, the Zard matchup's probably fine, but you're not playing any healing cards. Like, I'd like to see, like, Charon's here, and then your Zard matchup's probably fine. But Judge Path is pretty good right now. Playing 4 Judge, 4 Path. This deck is probably the best deck at doing Judge and Path. Because Beaver will squib it.
Sorry.
Bro, his eyes are tweaking. He saw the Arctina list. He's like, ew!
What is up? Okay. So...
But yeah, like, I'm not really sure.
Do you think better than Cleansing Gloves in this list?
Probably not. Like, what else is the Choice Belt really relevant into now? Like, Choice Belt, like, every set is just getting continuously worse and worse and worse.
I mean, like, it lets Arceus hit 210 into Raikou and Raichu.
Yeah, also, like, 230ing into other Vs, but, like, this deck's Guardy matchup is not good anymore. Like before Super Rod was legal, like when I was playing Artina, like it was Scarlet Violet base set legal only. Like your Guardian matchup was free because you would just boss Curlias, and what are they going to Miriam under Judge Path? No. They have to Miriam, then draw all that stuff back. But now they just Super Rod. So like you kind of need the help, I guess. But yeah, the Guardian matchup's really not great with Architects anymore. But it was free before Super Rod. That matchup was really good. Yeah. But Super Rod's pretty broken.
Funny little tidbit. Last night at League, I had 2 people get surprised about VMAXs. One of my opponents was like, "Bro, why? VMAXs are bad." And then I'm like, and then I went like double gunner, Urshifu, and I won. And then Morris is a great guy. He goes, "Knock out my VMAX, take 2 prizes." And then I'm like, "You take 3." And he's like, "Oh, I forgot. I'm not used to VMAXs."
That's funny. VMAXs are dying. They're aging out.
Yeah. I think Cleansing Gloves would be slightly better in this kind of version.
Yeah, I think we can move on. I don't think this deck is really something you should be looking at right now.
There's a one of capturing Aroma.
Yeah, a little extra consistency. Yay. But I'm happy to move on to... Oh, there's Gardevoir.
Oh, Moonlight
They get the broken stadium. Yeah. They get the broken stadium. It's not fair.
Oh, wait. This is very fair why there's so many lists playing Cleansing Gloves now. I remember now. Because Gardevoir's so good.
Yeah, the stadium is pretty strong. I'm surprised it's only like a 1 of. Like, I'd probably like to see 2. I mean, obviously I haven't played it yet, but it does seem like so unreal strong in Gardevoir. Oh, triple Arcana notably. Yeah. Because Arcana, like your stadium almost feels like a reversal. Like your stadium is pretty close to a reversal. So I do like coming back down to 2 reversal now that you have the stadium. Maybe like to lean in the stadium a bit more, play 2, but I haven't tried that obviously. Like I said. Screamtail, playing Cresselia, no Jirachi.
Yep.
3 I like 3 Candy. 3 VIP is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I guess.
Pretty interesting. There's no Mew in this list too, which is kind of weird.
Oh, no, I like Mew. I think that you need the help in this list. Going first without VIP is kind of sad.
I would agree.
But I guess you also have Mirage Step. I don't know.
I guess you could probably cut like a Gardevoir, like a baby Gardevoir for a 4th VIP.
I'm pretty skeptical of playing Gardevoir without Jirachi at this point, because like the whole selling point is you don't really care about Sableye anymore, and Gardevoir can kind of eat up the Lost Box decks. But without Jirachi, you're just right back to being unfavored against them, and even at best with the Cresselia.
Yeah, I mean, if you play
the stadium probably helps too, because it heals all of your Pokemon. It's like a rough seas, but nothing crazier. We move to the next one.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much. What cards are we adding? What cards are we adding in this list that like cut Mew and VIP? Third Arcana. And then...
Quite a lot of... Oh, there's playing double research. There's a lot of supporters here.
Yeah, I guess. You could cut 1 research, 1 Arcana for, like...
I'm not playing any research on my list right now. I'd probably see, like, second Avery before research.
Sick. Research and Guardy's sick.
It is sick, but I don't know. I'm not playing it. But I also don't play much Guardy. I think Guardy's not great right now, so...
Yeah, your opinion on it is that you have to play perfectly for like, even matchups, right?
Yeah, if we're talking about Portland meta next week probably, so I'll have more to talk about. But this is the last list. This is the seniors first place list that was on Poké
That's pretty sick.
This list again, not gonna lie, is pretty bad.
Man, why are you dissing everyone, bro?
Think about it. There's nothing personal on the person. It's just like when I see a very, I just think this list isn't great. Like you're playing Drapion V. Drapion V does nothing unless you're playing 2, because you can't one-shot 2 VMAXs, so you're just playing a dead card there. Counter Catcher, actually, Counter Catcher might be worth trying.
Why?
Oh, this is an epiphany. Because we're always behind on prize cards as Urshifu. Like, you know how people go Iono, Counter Catcher, Double Gunner, or, Lost Mine? Why can't we just do that? Why can't we Iono them to 1, Counter Catcher a dead thing, Double Gunner?
This list is like so many supporters. 3 Iono, 3 research.
Yeah, this list is like doing some shortcuts, but no, I want to try the Counter Catcher now that I say that. That's actually really sick.
But then you would play an Irida, probably.
Not really.
Or an Arven, your least favorite card, Arven.
I refuse to play Arven in this deck. I think Arven is trash. But
Town Store in this list is kind of interesting.
Counter Catcher's interesting. Yeah, they're playing Town Store. 1... I think I'd rather just say two Sealstone than second.
Luminion
like the Town
and
Store.
Squawk is crazy.
Yeah, you don't need Luminion and Squawk, especially for playing 6, like so many more supporters. Playing 1 Karina's Focus is not it. Playing 1 Melanie is probably not it. Playing 2, like...
I would like to see cutting Town Store, Luminion, Heavy Ball for Karina, Melanie, Clara, cutting Drapion for Spiritomb, and then...
I think that our list, like our 60 from San Antonio is like probably like 58. Like like Rapid Strike's pretty ironed out. Like even our list is like 2 cards different than everyone else. Like we're playing like Nest Ball instead of another Devo TM and stuff like that. But the Counter Catcher is actually like kind of the sauce. I'm gonna try that.
I'm down to try that.
I think that opens up a lot of plays. Like same thing as just playing the, like we were talking earlier about Lost Box, playing 1 Sableye, 1 Roxanne, 1 Counter Catcher opens up like an entirely different angle of winning to the deck. And if we're doing the flip flop of triple Iono to research, then you have the ability to Iono them to 1 or 2 more often. And a lot of matchups, I'm staying at 6 prize cards.
Do you want to try to? Do you want to try to add that on episode right now? Do you think that'd be beneficial?
No.
Okay.
We'll do that for next week. But that's the last list. I don't have much else to say. We have a lot.
Shout out to the senior dude. Yeah. Counter Catcher's a great idea.
Seniors deserve more
coverage.
Coverage? I don't know.
Coverage, I think is the word. Yeah.
Seniors is hard, actually. Like, it's probably easier than Masters, but, like, 6-1-1 is a pretty hard record to get at every regional. Like, it's tough. You can lose once.
That's, like, insane. It's insane. And
but anyway,
Charlotte, by the way, guys, shout out. Charlotte is close to having a day 2 for seniors.
Really?
Like, it was at, like, 212 when we checked. You need 227.
What's the day 2 cutoff? What do you need?
227. You need 227. That's insane. Like, we're close to a day 2 in seniors now. I don't think we're going to hit it.
Never thought I'd see the day.
We're not going to hit it for Charlotte, but, like, there's possibilities that seniors at some point hits 227 day 2, which is absolutely bonkers. Okay. Well, Len, you got the outro, eh?
Oh, wow. Lucas is prepared to end the episode? Usually I'm like telling you to, okay, we gotta stop. But you, wow. Okay, yes, I do have the outro. Sorry, I'm just amazed. Yeah, unless, Lucas, you have anything else to say?
Deck's pretty cool. Thank you for, shout out to Antoine Boulet. Very cool dude. Helped this episode out drastically because of his amazing work.
Translations, Pokekabook, thank you for letting us find Japanese deck lists. They're always stoked for that. If you haven't seen Pokekabook, maybe I'll write some links in the description to those 3 things.
Yep, that's awesome.
Other than that, next week we'll probably be talking about Portland. Be curious, leave a comment if you want us to do like another tier list with guests, because that was kind of a fun activity.
But I think the one thing we need is we need to be able to show lists for like some of the things that we're very interested in.
Yeah.
Because like we had that moment where like you were like, oh, I didn't show my list before San Antonio, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Anyways,
I just want to say.
What?
Happy holidays to everyone. Have a good New Year's.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Hope you all had a good Christmas if you celebrate. I always like that preface. Or.
Yeah.
Lucas, you're good.
Sorry for the Friday upload. We were just weird. It was weird. Okay.
Thursday.
Let's do this.
Yep. So we'll see you next week. Please like, subscribe, share, follow our Spotify, leave a 5-star review, all that good stuff.
So much.
You've been listening to the Lost Mine Trading Card Game Pokemon Podcast. We will see you next week. Take it easy.
See you.